And welcome back to the summer season for 2017, everybody. I came back from Anime Expo and I was expecting a great bunch of stuff from this season of anime, and oh boy, well, you'll see. As always, I am one but man. Damn it, but one man. I don't watch everything, so don't worry if I skip something. Jesus, I'll cover Rakugo as a series, alright? Shut the fuck up about it. So, let's get right to it with our romance contenders for the summer. So, at the tender old age of 18, you find out who you're supposed to marry in the future. I have several reasons why this is a bad idea, and this guy essentially has the government NTR his way out of a loving relationship. And for those that don't know what NTR is, don't look. Stay beautiful and pure. Speaking of NTR, this one is lesbians. Do I have to say much more? There is a nice dynamic here because they're trying to Cyrano de Bergerac this unsuspecting cuck, but man, I don't even know where to start with this shit. Whoops, we've made our way into the harem genre, and this one is centered around the fashion-conscious and trendy archetype of the gyaru, or gal in non-weeaboo speak. However, this just translates in the character design to big ol' anime titty. Let's get into some slice-of-life stuff, shall we? So this kid gets invited to a school club by the most popular girl in school, TM, and suddenly they're all playing discount Counter-Strike, and what's funny to me is that all of this pro-gamer talk is going on, and they're doing all of this, and you can clearly see a copy of Gun in the background, and I can't stop noticing it. So, every prefecture or county in Japan gets their own local magical girl? Boy, am I glad they didn't do this for America. In my area, Lord knows our Maho Shoujo would have powers comprised of our main exports, which would be bourbon, fried chicken, and racism, in no particular order. Also a 2-minute horse race that literally bogs down the entire infrastructure of our area for 2 months at a time. Speaking of horses, here is our entry this season into the category of shit trying to beat the sales of Monster Musume, except there's not a lot of boobies and it's actually just kind of adorable. Now, this is a story all about how the only male in our world got turned into a cat. We need a setting for our slice of life story series that is in a high school, so let's go down to our local Walgreens and talk about the kids that go in and out of that place. Who literally thought that was a good idea? Okay, so my immersion is lost here immediately. Not because the main character uses fucking Cubase. No, it's actually, he plays pretty accurately, and Cubase is a pretty good digital audio workstation. It's actually not that bad. What's insulting, at least to me, is that they think that loosely miking the drummer with a single condenser is going to produce the quality she sings in the obviously pre-recorded track. I mean, Jesus, guys, there's gonna be so much bleed into that thing. You wouldn't be able to hear her sing, let alone, like, oh my god, I'm a fucking nerd. So this kid rents an apartment that has ghosts in it. You know the writers are starting to run out of ideas when the best they can come up with is pulling a Stephen King and saying, ooh, spooky room, ooh, safety deposit, football, extremely clean football. See, call me crazy, but I'd actually like to see schools use this process. Give me money if I do well in school. Like, that would have been the biggest fucking motivator for me. Like, literally every semester, it's like, hey mom, I got straight A's, now give me a couple Benjamins, let's go. So, my winner for the closest thing I can call slice of life for sports this season is Nanamaru Sanbatsu, where a kid joins the Quiz Bowl Club. This one reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh! But with random trivia, at least in the first episode. It's a little weird to think that this one would be my pick for anything slice of life or competitions, but, wait a minute. Damn it, this portion of the video is brought to you by Amazon. Welcome to the ballroom. We got the fun and games. This is the prettiest show this season, exclusively on Anime Strike, so good fucking luck. Let's get more fantastical, shall we? So life in another world with my smartphone is kind of like my problem with smoking. When I watched it, I thought we were done with this. Can we possibly be done with this? You guys do know this is cancer, right? So this is a road trip between 4 dudes and their crazy adventures trying to make their way either away or to Shangri-La. I can't really tell because I've already completely lost interest in this show because I can't tell where the direction in this is going. All I can picture now is the gasoline trip from Zoolander. I don't like how middle of the road this is. 2 dudes are just fighting generic time monsters to protect people from losing their time or some shit. There's not a lot going on here unless you're like me and you occasionally enjoy up-tempo jazz. So once again, this one's just about a kid who was a crazy strategist or something in their military at a very young age. It's whatever. Like, all of that aside, I tell you this, I couldn't take this show seriously because this motherfucker is wearing a Baby Bell cheese wheel on his head. This is so bad. Can we be done with this? Seriously. Oh, wait, hang on. Hang on a second. Are those Magic Sword Gundams? Those are Magic Sword Gundams. Anime is saved. Anime is saved. Not really, but anime is saved. This portion of the video is brought to you by Netflix in 2 months. So, UFOTable is back with another entry into the Fate series, and does somebody smell French fries? Smells like a Big Mac in here. So UFOTable actually decided to make this season, and it's kind of decent, I guess. Time travel shit, a couple of sword guys and a lance guy, and this guy has a sword but also has a gun. It seems like he would be the horse to bet on in this instance. Holy shit, this is gorgeous. Man, this is just really fucking pretty. Man, where the hell is the show here? Is this show 90% background art? And am I actually mad about that? So wait, what's the name for this one? Princess Principal? How did this get into the action section? Well, whatever, just fucking roll the OP. Let's watch this. Whoa! Whoa! God damn, this show was a pleasant surprise. Some decent action, a great soundtrack, and cute girls. There's not a whole lot to dislike here. Now, the last 2 things I wanted to talk about this season. So this one is all about a girl who goes to a school where one of the biggest traditions in the school is gambling, and sometimes on people's lives. She herself is a compulsive gambler. Now, it has been brought to my attention by a couple people, namely Jeff Thu, professional shitbag, hallowed be his Crunchyroll URL, that this is basically Kaiji with a fresh coat of paint. Very, very lesbian paint. Now, the last show I have to talk about this season is why this video took so damn long to come out. Stan Lee himself apparently went down to Studio Dean and said Excelsior des, and got himself his own anime, and boy, is it really awkward. The whole thing has super thick outlines to more resemble a comic book, which I will admit is a cool fucking concept in the art direction. However, the silence in the first sequence could be considered artsy, but the entire episode could be considered quiet as hell. The fighting had no tension because the sound was so off. It seemed like they were fucking squeak toys flying around, and the pacing of it all. There's an aside that the girl has with the ex superhero, and at first it took way too long. Like, this entire sequence that I've been showing you is 10 seconds long. I'm not showing you screenshots. This is actually part of the show. They're just staring at each other. And hilariously enough, to offset the quiet, they keep playing the same song over and over again in the background, which I understand is supposed to be something with this guy's power, but it's incredibly weird. It's like they keep forgetting that the song is playing. All in all, it's really something you have to see for yourself. It is super weird. But what I'm thinking, what I'm hypothesizing here is we can chalk this up to an American producer trying to communicate Western concepts in an Eastern production. I feel like if a lot of this was live action, if this were a live action series, it would have made more sense. But that's kind of pushing it. Let's listen. Let's just see what happens in the rest of the show and hope for the best here. And that is the end of this season, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'd also like to thank my Patreon supporters for continuing to support me. You guys have been a huge help, and you've also, kept me on my toes about producing content. And it's honestly been one of the biggest motivators for me to keep making videos. I really, really enjoy having your guys' support in there, so thank you guys again. I have no names for everybody this month because nobody gave me any names or voice lines to say, so whatever. Now, allow me to put on my big boy glasses here for a second. Oh, these are dirty. Hang on one sec. Yeah, that's better. Now, there has been a huge controversy recently on Twitter and YouTube in general about the subject of piracy and anime. Now, let's, be 100% honest. Nobody uses any of this footage, for free. I mean, I'll be frank, I did not use 100%, copyright-free footage for this video. But here's the problem. I still pay a subscription for services that, provide this stuff. I pay for Netflix, I pay for... funny enough, I actually have Amazon, so there we go. There's also, Crunchyroll, which I've used for years, and, I have the Funimation Subpass, so I have all of this stuff, and I'm using this footage under the good graces that, I do pay for this content, so I use the footage that I find. I also own a lot of anime merchandise. I have a tiny Kanbaru Suruga that I had to find because I love her and she's great, but I paid money for this because I wanted it. I pay money for anything that I use that has anime in it. I mean, Jesus, I can't even find anything over here because it's all on my wall over there. here's the big problem. There's people that are promoting the advocacy of pirating anime. In terms of saying, like, it's not available in our country yet because of whatever service is not letting it out. Which I can understand because, true fans are going to find a way to watch anything. However, I want to implore the anime community at large, and I don't have that much of a viewership, so I'm not saying this is going to do it, but I want to start somewhere and say, let's not steal from the people that make the shit that we love. Because as a person that makes art, I make music, I don't like the idea of taking music from somebody without paying for it. I pay for music subscriptions. Every time I see an album somewhere that I do actually want, I will buy it. I will buy a physical copy of it. Even with the Blu-rays and DVDs and stuff like that. That's what I want to do. Long story short, I'm just saying that when we're talking about the people that make anime, and we're talking about the studios and stuff like that, and we want them to continue making what they do, we should not blame the distribution services that we have at the moment. Because giving these creators some money, whether it be now, whether it be in 2 months, whenever it does come out, is still better than not giving them any money whatsoever. I really want to spread this message. Some money is better than no money, because we need to support these people. And we do support the official release and everything like that, but we should not go out on a public forum with, let's say you have millions of views and millions of viewers and subscribers, and you say, pirate anime. That's not a good idea. That's really not a good idea. But this is just my humble opinion, and you may shit all over me. I don't care. I'm just saying, I want to see the people that make the content that we love get paid. That's all there is to it. However, once again, I'm just a guy making dick jokes about anime on the internet, so as always, thanks guys. Bye-bye.